What is up, everyone? Let me make sure my stuff is working. I don't know if anybody else is in the chat, so let me know if you are. I need to change. This is interesting. Let's see here. Can I just do an image? Let's see here. Let's see. Ooh. I wonder if I could do this. What's going on, everyone? I'm just messing with stuff. I wanted to do this. That'll work. Maybe. Here we go. That'll work. I think that'll be fine for a starting screen. Alright, can you guys let me know if you can hear me, if I sound okay. I'm going to move my microphone a little bit. Maybe pull that a little closer. So hopefully you guys can hear me just fine. Let me know. Let me know if you can hear. Okay, thank you, Mac. I appreciate that. So, all right, everybody. So, it's been a hot minute since I have had the opportunity to stream some WFL stuff, and if you couldn't tell, I changed the channel finally after all this time. I got it off of my gaming channel, and since we are coming up on the season, I wanted to go ahead and test streaming to the WFL official account. So hopefully you guys are tuning in, or hopefully you guys have subscribed, because we're going to be having some games coming up here. So let's talk a little bit about things that are coming up. I don't know why mine still says CCR Gaming, but maybe I'll have to change that later on. But anyway, we'll figure that out down the road. Maybe I just need to... I've signed in as the WFL, I believe, but for some reason, my typing is not coming up from there. But I'll fix that down the road. I'll figure out what's going on. But anyway, let's move on to... I'll have to figure out why that is. It's bothering me now. Let's get out of here and let's start the game, right? So today, as you can see, I'm just going to stream something while I talk. It's going to be between the Munich Metalheads and the Michigan Marauders. The only reason I picked these two right now is because the depth charts are actually correct. There was another team that has their depth charts correct. I mean, mine's done, and I know that West Virginia's is done too. But and West Virginia's and mine both have the ratings, but I don't want to put anything out like that yet. So these two teams have all the players, all the user players at least, assigned, and they have their depth charts right. So we figured, heck with it, we'll just use them. Let me see here. Let's make sure that my I think my game sound is not up for this game. I had it turned down. Yes, so I had it muted. There we go. So hopefully down the road you guys will be able to hear some of that. Okay, so what we're going to do today is I am just going to stream... I'm just going to stream a game, and I'm just going to talk about what's going on, where we are, and what's coming up, right? Because the season is just around the corner. I mean around the corner, literally, like less than 14 days, guys. At least when I'm planning. So let's go ahead, get right into it. Yes, I am well aware that I am not I want to know. I'm using my account. I probably should have used the actual WFL account, but that's fine. Okay, so we'll do 5 minutes just for this. We are going to turn injuries off and penalties, all that stuff, fun times. Okay, so let's talk a little bit. What's going down in the WFL. First off, thank you guys for jumping in and watching the stream and just checking in on things. So as you guys may or may not know, I am going to be the one that does all the streaming for the season. And that's due to the fact that the game itself does not have the Steam Cloud enabled yet. I believe once they maybe finally put it out on PS5, then I think the Steam Cloud will be enabled, which will let more than one person be able to have access to the rosters and stuff. But if we had more than one streamer, then everything would have to be copied to somebody else's PC. Like, we would have to have 3 PCs running the same game with the same rosters and everything. Anytime progressions are done, they have to be fully updated on all 3 PCs, for example. So for this season, it's going to be just me, as we've talked about before. First off, again, want to thank Colin and Dave Barr, the other Emperors, for all the work they've done so far when it comes to getting things ready to go as far as ratings and user players and the draft and everything, right? I mean, the draft was phenomenal. Really enjoy what they're doing. Check out To The Max as well. That show was great. Seeing Derek and them back live again was really cool. And I have to give another shout out to a couple of people. One, to Pasta. All the work that Pasta's doing is fantastic. The sheet technically, I guess, wasn't working correctly, but I mean, with all the work that he has done, helping us get things prepared, I thank you for that as well. And then the last person I really want to thank too is Noah. We made Noah part of the league office. He has done some phenomenal things with the backstories on the draft prospects to kind of working hand in hand to bring in some former WFA players over to the WFL when it comes to being generics and stuff. That's going to be some cool storylines that we'll be able to talk about. Because obviously, as we all know, that the WFA is, I mean, I'm not trying to mince words here, but they are a little bit on the decline. And so with the WFL starting and thriving, or at least starting and thriving, hopefully, I think we'll be able to see, there's Johnny Venero right there getting a big run. We'll be able to see, some of these old WFA players. I know I've seen some stories, I think, that have come out about that maybe, but like I said, just props to both of them guys. So here's where we are currently. Right now, we've got a few teams that have got their progressions done. The Wild, the Maroons, the Bucks. I think Munich is going to be posting their stuff here someday, here soon. I think somebody was really close. I think the Scotland team is close. There's a few teams that haven't done much. I think Dayton is pretty close too. So we're getting some pretty good responses. And Johnny Venero with his first touchdown in the preseason. So yeah, with everything that is going on progression-wise, we're getting close, right? All the players are getting their progressions done. If you don't know, or if you haven't really been looking and you're watching this, each player gets 100 points, right? And the easiest way to do this, the easiest way to think about this is every of your core attributes, and I'm going to try to put this in SFL terms because a lot of people are in here in the SFL as well. You have primary traits and you have secondary traits, kind of like the old days. Ooh, look at this. Look at this. That's a generic, I'm pretty sure. Nice kickoff return from Munich right there. Very nice. So the you get 100 points, right? And you know, you have, like I said, you have primary and secondary. Your primary traits start at 70. The secondary traits start at 50. And if you spend anything from 51 to 80 is going to just cost you 1 point per rating point. But once you pass 80 and get to 81, that's when the prices start increasing, right? So 2 points for every 1 point, 1 rating point. Once you get to 81. So a lot of people were kind of confused by that, and so I try to make it as simple as possible. So if you're getting to 80, it's worth 1 rating point. If you're getting to 85 or getting to 90, it's worth 2 rating points. Anything after that is a little bit more expensive. I think it was like when you were trying to put together your points, it was like 10 points to get to 80 if you started at 70, 10 points to get to 80, 20 points to get to 85, 30 points to get to 90. That's kind of an easy way I told somebody the other day. So, so hopefully, I think everybody that's in the chat has already done it, but if you're watching this and you haven't done it yet, fumble recovery there by Munich. Hopefully you guys understand that and you're able to get your progressions in. All progressions are due on Friday. This is not going to be... I mean, I can't really speak for Colin and Dave, and we haven't really discussed this part. I know we have a hard thing on Friday, but it's got to be done by Friday. All teams need to have their user progressions, their generic points, all that stuff completed by Friday. And I'll tell you why. And this kind of segues into the next part, is that the season, my calendar shows that the season's going to start next weekend on the 24th, 25th, and 26th. And so I need to be able to have time to not only put all the ratings in for everybody, but I also need to have time to put in all the ratings and the names for the generic players. Nice catch there by Robert Thump. I think that's Robert Thump. Pretty sure he was 84. When we originally talked about this, I wasn't going to do generic names. And then I decided to go ahead and let generic names roll in. So it's going to take a little bit longer than I wanted to, but that's fine. I'm cool with that. But that's why I need the hard stop on Friday. Right? That's why. So if you haven't gotten your progression done yet, please get with your own. And get that figured out, because I would hate to see you not be able to get 100 points towards your player and be better. So if you haven't, please get with your owner, get that done, so they can get that into the progression channel by the end of day Friday. Right? I'm not sure if there's a timeline on that, or at least what time, but yeah. So let me be right back here in a second, everybody. Hang on.
It's third down. He's checking the defense. They have 4 on the defensive line.
I wanted to get my water. Sorry. Okay. So let's talk about the regular season, right? Let's talk about the regular season here, gentlemen and ladies. The regular season is supposed to start next weekend. So it's going to be an amazing time. This will be the first inaugural season of the WFL. I'm excited. I know that Colin and Dave both are very excited for the upcoming season. And I know a lot of you are as well. So, there's Kevin Say right there on a good run. So first off, we haven't posted the channels yet. We haven't done. I got to finalize everything and probably get that announced. But here, I want everybody to at least know where my mindset is, right? As I've always talked to you guys before, I am going to be as transparent as I can, right? I want to be transparent because there are leagues where you just don't know what's going on the back end, right? I think we're all involved in at least one. Sometimes you just don't know what's going on until it happens. So the way that this is going to work, or at least the way that I have it envisioned in my head, is that playbooks will be chosen by the coaches or the owner. Those will be submitted every Thursday night. probably do like 9 p.m. Eastern or something like that. Maybe I'll like make it to midnight. I don't know. I haven't really finalized that thought in my head yet. But every playbook will be submitted by Thursday. So, and the games will be on the weekends. I have not figured out the schedule of that yet in my mind. Fumble out of bounds. But here is where my thought process is right now, currently with it. The way we're going to do this is there's going to be 4 games every week, right? Because we have 8 teams, so that's going to be 4 games. And we will do 3 games that will be recorded. And like I said, this hasn't been finalized yet, but the way I'm going to do this, 3 games will be recorded, and then they will premiere live. So you still get that live feel, but I don't have to sit here the entire time and stream everything, right? Because a lot of times, as you may have noticed, I do a lot of streams during the day. My schedule opens up to where I may have 3 hours between meetings or whatever. I can sit here and get games done and streamed, right? As we've talked about, the WFA, one of the main problems with the WFA is streaming. It's tough, right? I'm not saying it's an easy thing to do, because it's not. It's a tough thing to do, especially when you are the one that's doing all the rosters and everything. A little easier when you have like multiple people that can use the same roster file and this and that, but it's still tough, right? And it's still tough to follow a schedule. And one thing that I want to make sure, one thing that you guys can take to the bank in this league is we will stick to a schedule. We will have games every week. No matter what happens, we'll figure it out, right? And it'll be me figuring it out for season 1. Hopefully they'll enable Steam Cloud. It'll be a lot easier. But for now, I will have things figured out. Don't you worry. I know that I've heard a lot of stories, and even in my time in the WFA, I've heard stories about streams not going. On top of that, as you see with the SFL, one of the reasons that the SFL is successful is because of the fact that they can stick to a schedule. And they have people, and they have only one guy that streams all the games, but that's also his full-time job. But still, like, they have a schedule that's in place, and they follow that schedule, and you don't see them ever deviate unless there's some weird situation like a power outage or something with the roster file or something, right? It's happened before. It is what it is. So there will be all the games, and probably what will happen is there could be a Friday night game. Like, how it's going to break down, I don't know. There could be a Friday night game, 2 Saturdays, and a Sunday. There could be 3 Saturdays and a Sunday. It just depends on what's going on. But one of the things we want to do is have a WFL Game of the Week, where I actually will stream that live, and that we will have broadcasters for that one game. The way that game will be determined is by you, the community. We will put a vote out probably like that Monday, right? Because we'll know what the matchups already are. We'll put that vote out there on Monday, probably give you guys 2 days to vote on it, right? And then we'll come out with a schedule. The schedule for the week will be released every Thursday, in my mind. Maybe Wednesday night, Thursday-ish. Big interception there. I believe that's... no, that's not. So there may be some numbers and stuff messed up, so my apologies. But because I'm pretty sure Chris Britton was 33, but that's not Chris Britton. So, yeah. With... that part is still being finalized. I'm hoping that I could talk to the other emperors, and get that sorted out and get it set in stone, and then I will release that information in the future. So be on the lookout for that. But that's kind of where my headspace is right now. And if you are somebody that wants, to be a broadcaster, let us know. Right? I'm not gonna. I mean, maybe I'll have you make a test or something. Like, make sure you can actually do it. But we're not looking to be a professional thing, right? Like, I mean, we are, but we aren't. If you get what I'm saying. If you don't have any experience, that's fine. Like, I'm not looking for the next Jim Nance. I'm not looking for the next Bob Uecker in baseball form. And by the way, rest in peace to Bob Uecker. He passed away today. Legendary baseball broadcaster. If you don't know who Bob Uecker is, go watch Major League the movies. He was the broadcaster in that movie. So but back to what I was saying. And David, you can. If you want to try it, try it. But this isn't going to be. I know some people are in this league. This is not going to be like the AACL, which is a college football league. I'm not trying to be disrespectful towards the AACL. I'm an AD in the AACL. But we're not going to have 3 people in the booth, and we're not going to have soundboards and all that God knows nonsense. I'm sure they'll hear about this and go back, but it's nothing I've never told Dave already anyway. But we're not going to do that stuff, right? I mean, so we'll probably have a play-by-play. We'll probably have an analyst, and we'll figure that all from there. But that will be 1 game a week, right? So 3 games will have just what you're hearing right now. Maybe not me talking, but having the actual broadcast from the game. But it's not going to be anything where, like I said, you're going to have broadcasts. But the game of the week, we want to have broadcasters. That's the goal. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. We'll let you guys know, And yeah, it's a different league. It's a different broadcast style. That's just what we're going with, David. So you already understand, so you get it. But that's kind of where we are with everything. Roster-wise, I am waiting until this weekend to really get the ratings and everything down, because I don't want to. I mean, I've already started, right? Just to do testing. So, like West Virginia, for example, West Virginia is completed. All their ratings are applied in the game. Dakota, because it's my team, all the ratings are applied to the users. So those are ready to go, and it's really unique to see like the builds that have come in and the different styles that people are trying to do. So it's really cool. You got one quarterback that's done kind of like 3 or 4 things, and then you got another quarterback that's improved like 10 or 11 things and just kind of spread their points out a little bit. So really unique how it's going to work, but I'm really excited for it, right? I'm really excited about it and being able to see how these players play is going to be something. I will say this. I know that the maximum football team, if they watch this, cool, but I know Mike is in our server, but if the maximum football team has talked about, they are currently working on trying to fix punt blocks and kick returns and stuff like that. When it comes to punt blocks especially, there's quite a few, and fumbles. I know that they were trying to work on that as well. So, but that could be just something where your carry gets improved, right? All the offensive players, the running backs, the quarterbacks, the wide receivers, the tight ends, they all have the ability to improve their carry or their hold on to the ball. So those are things that you guys could be working on. I haven't really seen anybody actually improve that rating, which is kind of surprising. So maybe somebody after this stream will be like, oh, that's not a bad thought. So we'll see how that all, plays out. But like I said, that's kind of where we are when it comes to the rosters and stuff. I'm hoping to have the rosters done by, I'm going to say like Monday or Tuesday. It's kind of a tasking thing. And like I said, because of the fact that now I got to add generic names in and their points, which I already knew the points was going to happen anyway, but adding points to generics and coming up with names for everybody, that's where it's going to be a little different. And trying to make sure that numbers of players don't mix with generic numbers, like that's going to be a thing I have to do as well. So it's going to take me a little time, but like I said, my goal is to try to get it done by Monday, Tuesday at the latest. If I really have to stretch it, it'll be Wednesday. But it'll be done before we do any sort of roster season announcements or anything like that. And if it's not, then it's just me on the back end finishing things up.
Come on, guys. Let's
Let
see
me
some
think. Is
hustle.
there anything else
It's third down.
that I want to go over? If you guys have any questions while you're in the chat, throw them at me too. I can always answer. But I don't think there's anything else that I needed to really bring up. Like I said, I really wanted you guys just to look at. I can't even ever say his name right. I know it's like it's JW's quarterback. I just can't say his name right. And that's another thing. Now that just hit me is if you have a funky name, I would love for you to send into your locker rooms or in the progression channel, your owners can. I would love to see a pronunciation of your name if you have to. Like JW's player here, I think it's like Falache or Falache. I don't even know how you say it. I think it's Nath Ayer, if I remember right, but I don't remember the last name. So that'll be something that if you have a funky name, just give us a pronunciation. That way, if we do call your game, then at least we can say it right. So that's really kind of where we are. Had a lot to kind of announce. Not really announce, but a lot to talk about. We talked about progression, so remember just to get that done by Friday. And that goes to owners with owner points and generic names and stuff like that. If you haven't really started on that yet, I would highly suggest as an owner you reach out to Noah. Noah has expressed that he wants to be able to work on generic names and players. I have actually reached out to Noah. Noah's going to work on Dakota and make sure that gets all done. That way it takes it off my plate, at least for me, which I appreciate. But progressions and stuff, hard stop Friday. If it's Saturday or Sunday and your player hasn't submitted the progression, guess what? Not gonna happen. Unless you want to send me money to my PayPal. I'm just kidding. Maybe I'm not. Anyway, so the progression stuff we talked about. We talked about the streaming schedule. If you're just joining or whatever. It's going to be 4 games a week. The season 1 is supposed to begin this next weekend, so the 24th, 25th, 26th. I will say, I forgot until just now, but my daughter's birthday is on the 25th, so I'll have to figure out that schedule. So that's no big deal. But the way that it'll work, because of the fact of my weekends are always just kind of slammed and this and that. But there will be 3 of the 4 games will be pre-recorded. And like I said, I may make that playbook thing like turned in by 9 p.m. Thursday, because then maybe I can record 1 game on Thursday or even 2, depending on just how long I stay up, and then record some stuff on Friday and be done, right? And so, but one of the things, like I mentioned, I want to make sure that we stick to a streaming schedule, because I do not want to be the WFA. No offense to WFA, no offense to anybody running it, don't want to be that. I've already talked about this before. Go back and watch and get that done. But 3 games will be pre-recorded and premiered on YouTube, so it's live, but not live. And then there will be a game of the week that we're hoping to be able to broadcast live, and that will be streamed live. Schedule-wise, I don't know how that's going to work. We'll figure that out. I got to get that with Colin and Dave, with the other Emperors, and just kind of finalize that. Hopefully we're supposed to meet up here soon. But I want you guys to know that a streaming schedule will stay active, so just remember that. And then we talked about the rosters and what's going to happen here. We're going to, rosters and stuff for everything's due Friday, so I'm going to be hopefully getting the rosters and everything completed, depth charts, all that stuff done, at least opening depth charts, done by Monday, Tuesday, maybe even Wednesday in emergency. So the way that we'll do it is with the streaming stuff as well, is like I said, there will be a post or some sort of Google Doc vote for the game of the week. The game of the week will be decided by the community. It will not be decided by me. I don't care who plays at what time. doesn't matter. But I want the best matchups to be on the game of the week. So that's the whole point. And we'll probably do it to where Wednesday would be the deadline for that, and then we would announce it like Wednesday night or Thursday, whenever time, and then the games will follow after that. Playbooks would be due Thursday night, probably 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, but I will let all the teams know that and have that finalized and come up with a playbook submission channel for everybody. So we'll get that figured out. But other than that, I don't have a lot. We're just about wrapped up here. There's a minute to go in this game. Pretty good game so far. Michigan trying to take this win here. They were down, I think, like 13-6 at half, and their defense is really held. So, looking solid. Like I said, these two teams, they don't have the ratings updated yet, because for one, they haven't posted, and two, I didn't want to throw in teams I already had ratings posted, so I just chose these two. And plus, the depth charts were already completed, so at least we can see some of the players that are on this roster. Look at that! What a play, man! I'll tell you what, their quarterback is very active in this offense. Yeah, it's very competitive game in the preseason. That's one of the things I'll tell you that I've really seen messing with this game is there's not a lot of blowouts. There's not. These are all going to be close, good games. So, which is what you want. Yeah, and like I said, there's probably some players that are confused, right? There's Scott Stover right there, number 77. I do know that. I think Chris Britton was supposed to be 33, but that's a generic, so I gotta fix that. I think I just forgot he was on the roster. Sorry, Britton. I love you, buddy. I mean, it's like Casa. He's just trying to run, which is weird. Yeah, exactly. That's what we want.
And a mile to go. Looking to hold with 4 on the defensive line.
Yeah, so I said this stream would probably be like 30 minutes to an hour tops. So now games will. I guess I could bring this up too. I got to finalize this as well. But games, I believe, will be 10 minutes long. 10-minute quarters. I mean, sorry. And the games have been usually lasting about an hour. So which is a cool thing. Like, we could do like we could almost do like a 2 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 6 o'clock premiere of games, like if we wanted to, or do like a Friday night game and then do 2 Saturday games and then do a Sunday game. I don't know what the schedule will be. It may just be dependent on what I am able to do, but I will let you guys know that each and every week as it happens, so if something changes. And the game of the week part will also depend too, like if I can get broadcasters in there. If we can't get broadcasters in there, no big deal. We'll just play it, no problems. But that's kind of where I'm at. So.
Good reception. He held on to it. Definitely. It's 3rd down and 10 yards to go. Get ready.
Man, that is crazy. So we're going to get an overtime game.
Here's the snap. He scrambles. He finds a gap in the line and sprints for a 1st down.
Devontae Moore getting a nice little run.
It's 1st down and 10 to go.
Overtime it is. We are going to overtime.
Overtime. Coin toss up next. It's 1st down.
So if you haven't seen an overtime game yet, you'll be able to see how it all plays out.
He is not going anywhere.
Kevin Say to the right side.
2nd down and a handful to go. Throwing. He came down with it. He
Dang, to the fullback,
Touchdown.
and was able to almost kind of like a little screen or like a curl route, and then just great blocking. I don't know who number 6 is. Yes, they do the college style in this game, David. I mean, this is a college-based game, so.
Here's the kick. They tack on the extra.
All right, so Munich with the touchdown. And so now Michigan with an opportunity. Oh, wow.
Read that play and made a solid tackle.
Yeah, I think he should have left.
It's second down. And looking at some real estate in front of
I think
him.
he should have
You
took
can
off
feel
there.
The intensity as he scans the defense.
I don't know why I'm watching on that screen. I'm going to watch on this screen. It's way bigger. I'm like watching the OBS little screen. I should have been looking over here at this screen because it's full screen.
It's
I don't know why.
down. And a long
3rd and 26. This is a big play. Going I formation is kind of an interesting call here for Michigan. Let's see if they're able to get it. He's going to take off. Watch. Nope. He's looking. Look at this. Oh, that was in his hands. That was in the hands of the receiver. Generic receiver. Wow.
Okay, so the offense decides to go for it on 4th down. It's 4th down.
This is their last chance. And there it goes.
On down.
Munich taking the win here in overtime.
And that's the game.
I mean, that was a solid throw. It just was dropped.
For Joyner.
That one was
Plain
a
and simple.
real blast.
Just
Till
dropped.
next time.
Munich on top, definitely. So let's take a look at the stats here. They did finally fix this because there was some weird moments where it wouldn't show stats. 185 total yards compared to 143. 14 first downs from Michigan. I mean, they look solid. 139 rushing yards compared to 62. 81 passing yards. The kickoff return for Munich is what made the difference here. 11:47 time of possession. 0 for 2 on 4th down. So let's take a look at the individual. So Devontae Morton, I wish they would put this back. I've told them to try to flip this. It would read way easier. So 9 of 12 for 81 yards, a TD, and a pick for Devontae Moore. I don't know what books were used. I just whatever's generic in there. So it may be just simple offense and something else for defense. 4 sacks taken there for Devontae. We'll look at the away side. Nathair, like I said, man, I'm not pronouncing that last name. Only 3 of 5 for 60 yards. That's crazy, right? That is absolutely insane. But let's take a look at the we'll take a look at the rushing stats here for Munich. Kevin Say, 7 attempts, 19 yards, had a fumble. Devontae Moore, 6 carries for 40. So pretty decent day for Devontae Moore. Can't blame him on that one. Joseph Howe's got 1 carry for 2 yards as well. And then looking at the other side, Johnny Venero, man, 16 carries, 80 yards, and 2 TDs for Johnny Venero. Big time. I mean, the rushing attack for Michigan was just solid, right? You look at the other side, or looking at the quarterback, 17 carries. So we talked about it earlier, that they were, like, when I started finally watching this game, it looked like they just ran a lot with their quarterback, and it kind of shows there. 17 carries, 61 yards. So that's where a lot of their yards came from. Receiving-wise, probably not going to see a whole lot of stats. Kevin Say, 2 catches for 80 yards. Yanni Van Halen, who is Tom Kiefer's, Top Kiefer's player, 2 catches for 11 yards. I don't see anything for Robert Thump. but there was also not a lot of passing out of this game either. I mean, they had like 81 yards, but that was mainly about it. And then away side, I mean, there was only 3 players that caught a ball: Joseph Howes, Rudolph Brown, and then Johnny Venero with that as well. Tackling wise, we can go take a look at the defense here. So 5 tackles for Derek Johnson. Daryl Bullock, the corner, one of the user players at corner, got 5 tackles, 2 tackles for loss. Let's see here. Chris Britton right there had 4 tackles as well. Like I said, I'm pretty sure that there's 2 players. Yeah, Esteban Martinez is 33, so I will get that updated. Scott Stover, 3 tackles in this game, and that's the user players here for them. The away side, Sam Blotner is a user safety, 3 tackles for him. And then Zachariah Mercer, 3 tackles, and 1 tackle for loss. That's a user player from Michigan. And then I think that's it for their user players. Yep. And then kicking, I don't think they have. These teams do not have any kickers. So as you can see there, they don't. It's just the user generic that's in there. Like I said before, all these rosters were copied against each other, so you'll see the same names for the generics. That's why we're doing different generic names. But that is it, man. That was a good game, good ending. Really looking forward to what they're gonna, what we're gonna be able to do here in this upcoming season. Is gonna be a lot of fun. So right about 45 minutes, I kind of figured this would be where we're at least around there. So once again, guys, thank you. I also wanted to test the stream side of things for the WFL account, make sure everything looks good. I got to figure out why I'm not signed in as me when it comes to chat, but that's something I'll have to figure out later. But other than that, like I said, thank you guys for joining. We will send out some announcements here soon about things when it comes to, the rosters, and when it comes to the game of the week stuff. That'll get released Monday, because since we already know what the schedules are, those will get released on Monday, and then we'll do like a Google Doc for that as well. And then from there, I think that's mainly about it. So once again, everybody, thank you very much for joining. And just think, I mean, today is what, Thursday? So a week and a day away. A week away from playbooks getting turned in, and a week and a day or 2 away from the first week of the WFL season. I am excited. Thank you once again, everybody, and we will